Hitler turned people who today would be considered good people.
Right.
What did they do? They turned their nation into an absolute killing machine. They had to build factories to murder tens of millions of people. I mean, just literally, it's so much that most people don't even want to think about the Holocaust.
That's
But
right.
it happened.
Yeah. And when you go to the museum, like when we were in Jerusalem and we went to the Yad Vashem, it was even hard, wasn't it, Sasha?
It
I mean,
was.
Sasha was right next to me, and Claire
Yeah.
and Ricky. We were right there, and it was even. It's even hard to look at the screen that they show. You know, this big, huge screen with the bodies, and it's hard to not turn away from
Yeah.
looking at the reality and the truth. But we did, and then you go to the children's museum and you can hardly tolerate it. It changes your life forever.
Lori, didn't you think that in the 1930s, there were, in German towns, there were concerned citizens who got together and said, look, we're hearing rumors
Yeah.
that they're building concentration camps.
Wow. Yeah.
And somebody in that meeting stood up and said, look, I don't want to hear any of this conspiracy talk. And others said, no, we know for a fact they're building concentration camps. We've heard that they're putting in gas chambers. And so the debate would go on in those meetings. I don't believe that stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk. See, I think those meetings really happened. I think that there were people just like you and me and just like your audience. Their eyes were open, their ears were open. They knew something evil was taking place in Germany, and I think that they held those meetings, but the apathy of the German people prevented them from seeing what was right there in front of their face.
Don't you think it became a political system that they knew if they disobeyed it, they would be killed?
Oh, sure.
And they became afraid of the politicians?
And then what did the church, and so many in the church world do, Jim? You tell the story, you know, so brilliantly.
When the railroad cars came by the church, I don't know if that's the story or not, but that's the
Yes.
one that this is what's happening
Now.
in your church, in churches all over right now.
So in
What
Germany.
they did is when the boxcars came up with people screaming, they just put them like cattle. They took children. They had whole trains full of nothing but children.
Yeah.
Have you seen my son's film, Sing a Little Louder?
That's what I'm
That's
talking
what
about.
we're talking
You saw it?
about.
That's
Sing
my
a little
son's
louder,
film.
right there.
Sing a
Jeremy
little
made
louder.
that film.
We're talking about this
and
story.
so the pastor didn't know what to do. The people were screaming, and they said, what are we going to do? And the pastor said, sing a little louder to drown out the cries of the people trying to be rescued from the boxcars.
That's right.
And that's where we are today. We just sing a little louder. Preach a little more prosperity. Get a little happier. Let's just go on and be happy. Let's forget all this stuff. Who wants to hear what I'm talking about today? Nobody wants to hear this. But what's going to happen next? We have a country that's already infiltrated with our enemies. I have men from our federal government that are honorable people sitting at this desk week after week telling me they have already come. They have infiltrated our country. And that we could literally have an EMP bomb go off anytime from now on. That we have several enemies. Russia may want to do something to us someday even. But North Korea
And Iran
already has put satellite circling above our country. We're seeing other countries. Iran, they say, we're going to keep Iran from getting the bomb. The guy sits right here and says they already have the bomb.
And then we gave them $150 billion to make sure they had one.
That's right.
And believe me, you don't even have to create it
people are
if you have $150 billion. You just buy one from one of the groups that likes to sell stuff like that.
And this is why Americans are angry. This
Yeah.
is the reason right here.
It is.
Something's got to change. And either you do like they did during the Holocaust, is shut the people up, or you let freedom reign. And you let us talk. And you let us come to the conclusion that truth will bring us to.